Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We're all George. So welcome to a special Saturday night. Well, it depends on where you are. Saturday night stream. Because I have some urgent news to talk about. Okay, I'm gonna make this stream short and straight to the point. But bottom line is, we have the co-founder of Huobi exchange, one of the biggest exchanges that we have today, calling out Sam Bankman-Fried and saying that he caused the collapse of Luna and ITrustCapital on purpose for his own gain. It's really damning. It's really, really damning. So let me show you guys and connect all the dots. Okay? This is wild. And supposedly CZ knew it, but that is why he did what he did to just stop it. Because remember, there's been a lot of rumors about who caused Luna to go under, right? It had to be someone with a ton of resources. And SBF was rumored to be the guy, FTX, right? Because of all the leverage trading and everything that's going on. I mean, come on. Right? Who else would it be? But, I mean, now we have someone that's coming out that claims that SBF did it, caused Luna to go under, then caused Three Arrows to go under, profiting from both. And that's because they needed to plug an $8 billion hole that happened to be in Alameda Research. Right? So, it's quite wild. Anyways, I got to give credit to Mario Nafal. If I butcher his name, I apologize. But he's been on top of it. He's been running Twitter spaces like 24 hours straight and like nonstop. He even flew out to Bahamas to try to figure out what's going on. His Twitter spaces is the one that Elon actually chimed in and made the statements about how SBF tried to talk to him, and he did, and a BS meter went off, right? All that stuff that I covered this morning. But yeah, I missed something, and it's just really damn. But anyways, he did within this, within this Twitter Spaces. There's been parts of it, right? And he's caught a lot of slack too, because he tweeted this, and this is a retweet, okay? Because, and I will explain why, the recording that I'm about to play with you guys, right, basically said SBF knew and was responsible about Luna. CZ knew that he took down ITrustCapital. Then he moves user funds from FTX to Alameda. Then CZ approached SBF, and then it was ignored, and then CZ tweeted as a last resort. This is why CZ decided to take down Sam Bankman-Fried, because some people are claiming, oh, CZ wants all the power and CZ did it on purpose. Yeah, he did it on purpose to actually save the industry, because all the bad stuff that has happened this year, all pointing to one man, and that's SBF. So had he not done any of the stuff that he has done, who knows where Bitcoin would be right now? Maybe back up to 70,000, right? Every single thing that happened is now connected back to SBF. Now, what was the original tweet? The original tweet was this. Same thing, except he quoted who was on this call. Wendy Wang from Huobi. And who is Wendy Wang? Well, she is the co-founder of Huobi. Not only the co-founder, but chief marketing officer. So someone that I think has a reputation, right? A good one, at least someone reputable, someone that would have inside sources, which she claims she knows, and someone that's within the CZ team that kind of explained everything to her, right? But he took her name off because all the backlash that came afterwards, right? But also it's important to note that Zhu Su, who was the co-founder, well, is considered, I mean, he still is the co-founder of ITrustCapital that went under. He actually liked it and retweeted it. So basically, that's his endorsement, saying whatever she's saying is actually true. And I'll get to her tweets in a little, his tweets in a little bit. But basically, Mario had to retweet, right, the deleted tweet because he felt like he was compelled to. He put the whole thing on, or at least this segment on YouTube. So I'm gonna play it. I fast forward a little bit. There's about 46 minutes to this one. At the very beginning, basically Wendy says that she believes there's two type of people in crypto. You have one type like CZ that truly believes, that has all their network and assets in crypto. Someone that's truly good for crypto. And then you have others like SBF, okay? So she said a lot of good things about CZ at the beginning. Now I fast forward to the part where she kind of explains what happened, okay? So let me play this for you guys. It's bad stuff, man. It's bad stuff. All right. Hopefully I got this ready. Let's do this.
Why Luna got how to say? So the Luna, the whole situation of Luna also caused by Sam. But Sam didn't take any advice or didn't take any.
Okay, so that's I knew I heard it right, Wahid. I knew I heard it right, Wahid. So he's saying the Luna situation was also caused by Sam
yes.
through Alameda.
Yes, yes, and then CZ somehow he noticed Sam. He talked to Sam, and then Sam didn't listen to him, and then Sam did a 3 arrow on purpose. So a 3 arrow got bankrupt, all because they had a future trading, they had a prep trading on FTX, and Sam did it a counterparty every single deal with it. So CZ was not happy with it, and then he find out that's because it's a like people know it's a like 8 billion gaps. You know, like there's why Sam is doing it because he need money, and why he need money because he moved all of the users' money, you know, not his money on FTX, moving to do something else, to do his personal trading, his personal futures and preps. So this is everything
to support Alameda after what happened with Luna and 3 Arrows. He moved the funds from FTX users funds to support Alameda because he mentioned to an investor. There's a report they mentioned to an investor that FTX owes $10 billion to Alameda.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So this is all comes out little by little, but at the very beginning, CZ knows everything. So CZ actually politely.
Go ahead. Sorry. Finish your sentence. Sorry.
Yeah. So CZ actually politely informed and talked to Sam, and Sam was saying yes, but he's doing no. So that's why I think that CZ have to take some actions. Otherwise, his whole money, his whole investment will go zero, will go down to the zero. So I think this is one of the reasons why CZ started this. And the second reason is to running an exchange, you are a CEO. I'm not saying that, you know, everyone can, I'm not saying that Sam is not doing good, but rule number 1, don't touch your client's money, your user's money. And rule number 2, don't use leverage. And Sam, somehow, he did everything. He moved the user's money and he used it on a bit with leverage. So this is running exchange. It's not something like it's your family business, your family office that you can do anything. And he didn't take it. Okay. He didn't think it's his fault. He didn't think that it's actually not right to touch and move users' money. This until now. He said everything. I'm sorry, but he didn't explain where that 8 billion comes from, and he didn't say that.
For me, that tweet just made me more confused. So yes. I have one more question. First, I appreciate you sharing all this information.
Okay, so that's why I want to play. I'm gonna post this entire interview so that you guys can listen to it yourself. But that's basically what Wendy is saying. Okay, somehow there was an $8 billion hole. For whatever reason, Alameda or FTX, Caroline or Sam, they play with leverage. They lost it. So that's why FTX had to give $8 billion to Alameda, the FTT, right? We know that. But because he gave it, he had to plug that hole. So how could he do it? Well, counter trade, basically, or be the counterparty to all these futures and swaps, right? And basically profiting from Luna's downfall and Three Arrows' downfall, right? Even recently, those of you guys that have tuned in, you know the last time we had some huge liquidations happen? And I kept saying, why is like 80% of the liquidations happening on FTX? There's been many instances where it's like 70%, 80%, all on FTX, even though their volume is actually relatively small, say, compared to Binance and others. So why is it happening? I speculate. I'm like, it has to be FTX, right? They have to be playing against everyone else. That's how they make money. How did he have so much money to throw around, right? So basically, this sounds like if you didn't know who this person was, you would say, okay, maybe she's just making it up. Maybe she's a CZ loyalist. But if you know who she is, she's the co-founder of Huobi, right? So she's running her own exchange. She's not on CZ's payroll or anything. And she's coming out saying this because there's a lot of people behind the scenes. They talk to each other. And everyone knows, basically, that it's SBF. And CZ is trying to stop this. He already knew that SBF caused Luna's collapse. He knew it caused Three Arrows' collapse, right? And it cost CZ a ton of money, too, because he invested, he had a lot. I think he said $1 billion, $2 billion in Luna, and probably in ITrustCapital, and he has a ton of FTT. But he's like, enough is enough, because who knows what else SBF is going to do in the future? Who else they're going to try to, collapse to try to counter trade? I mean, it's just wild. It's just wild. Again, I'm going to post this in the description in the comments afterwards. You guys can listen to this yourself, but I suggest everyone to follow Mario if you want to get the latest in terms of what they're discovering, because they're discovering a lot of stuff. And I mentioned about Zusu, right? A lot of people wanted to crucify him, and yes, he did some bad stuff too. Like, we can't just forgive Do Kwon or Zusu, okay? They still did their own thing that made it really bad, and that's why SBF was able to take them down, okay? So we can't just forgive them, but if you look at Zusu, he's been very active, retweeting and liking some of the things that have come out from this interview from Mario, right? And then he also started speculating on what's been happening with Alameda and all these guys, right? So maybe Do Kwon will come out and also chime in. But right now, it seems like public enemy number one is definitely SBF. And see, I saw CZ also tweeted this. CZ himself, I think there's a lot maybe he can't share, or he thinks if he shares, he's going to cause a bigger collapse. But he basically said, I try not to comment on competitors. I broke this rule only a few times, especially when Voyager fell down, right? When Celsius fell, right? He mentioned about this weird relationship between Alameda and Voyager, and also between ITrustCapital and Voyager and Alameda. I mean, it's just like one big circle, right? And somehow, none of them got bailed out. FTX basically let them collapse, and then, tries to come in and try to be a hero and try to, make everything go away, right? So CZ says in the future, he is going to break that policy a little bit and be more vocal on issues that he sees. So basically, I think what CZ is saying, like, I bit my tongue maybe too much. I need to be more vocal and let people know what's going on. Trying to be as transparent as possible. And even, he tweeted this out, SBF back in July, he was already talking about bankruptcy. So it's obvious that he was already thinking about bankruptcy, even at that time. So there's that, okay? Now, also, recently, we know that BlockFi also had to close their doors, right? Why is this? BlockFi has been, even though they stopped their interest lending accounts for a while, but they were still operating because there was an agreement that FTX was going to buy BlockFi. Now you're hearing from the inside that the only reason why FTX bailed out BlockFi because they knew BlockFi still had user funds in their platform and they wanted to use it in their shell game. They applied immense pressure to get BlockFi funds transferred into FTX custody, and then employees were told not to ask about it, okay? So this is probably the reason why they had to shut their doors because all of the funds are held in FTX custody. And again, it's because SBF wanted to cover up the hole that was there. So basically, you know, shell games, right? Trying to like move stuff around, trying to make it very difficult for people to figure out what's actually going on. So bad stuff. Now, the latest is people still think that SBF and its associates in that $35 million mansion, they're still in the Bahamas. And people are trying to confirm whether or not the authorities have detained them because there's people thinking that they're seeing him over there, right? Supposedly his father's over there. Maybe his father is also being detained because he may be an employee. I don't know. So this morning I covered how his private jet was flying around. So maybe he didn't take it. Maybe he is still in the Bahamas, and maybe he is about to be detained because of all the stuff that's happening. And finally, I know a lot of you guys are calling for Gary Gensler's resignation too. And I've been mentioning about it in terms of this relationship, this weird relationship between SBF, Caroline, and Gary, right? And maybe this was Gary's plan all along to get more power and crash the entire crypto industry, right? So even a congressman, Tom Emmer, and I covered this before, he's claiming that Gary is running to the media, right? Like going on CNBC and Squawk Box and talking about how, oh, this is dangers of crypto and why we need to regulate it more. So we're having a congressman come out and saying, while Gary is doing that, my office alleges that he's been helping SBF and FTX work on legal loopholes to obtain a regulatory monopoly. He's been helping SBF to become a monopoly. Why? Right? So here's the connection, the official connection. Gary Gensler's boss at MIT, Glenn Ellison, happens to be the father of Caroline, the co-CEO of Alameda. So obviously there's a connection there. SBF also went to MIT and created Alameda Research. So obviously there's a close connection to both of them to Gary Gensler. Okay, and that's not all. The general counsel of FTX also served as lead counsel to Gensler while he was at CFTC, right? So there is definitely a connection going on between Gary, Caroline, and SBF, right? So was this a plan all along by either Gary to make FTX the dominant exchange in the U.S., right, becoming a monopoly, or he set this in motion because he knew they would fail because they were just a bunch of kids, basically, running an empire that he knew would fail, and this ultimately would give Gary even more power, right, after it collapses. So there's definitely something going on there. And obviously, it's being spread because now we have even Congress people, you know, looking into this. So this is definitely not going to go away. So right now, Gary could sit on his high horse and point fingers and say, oh, look at this. This is what happened to FTX. So we have to take, you know, more action. But he's probably sweating that people are figuring out that there is definitely a connection between SBF and Caroline and Gary, all this stuff that's happening, right? Some damning stuff, that is for sure. So if you think about it, everything bad, like I said at the beginning, everything bad has happened so far, right? Luna collapsing. Then we had Three Arrows Capital collapsing. Then you have Celsius and Voyager collapsing, right? Everything could have been done by SBF. And if he wasn't in this space, keep in mind, he's a newcomer. He's not like CZ, who's been around for years, or others that's been even longer. This is the nobody that's came in all of a sudden, you know, with billions to flop around and throw around, and somehow he creates this exchange that seems to be on top of the world, right? So definitely he had something going for him, some kind of agenda, some help, something to prop him up. But imagine if he wasn't in this space. If he wasn't in this space, 2022 could have been very different. And you know what? He may be the one that's been suppressing Bitcoin. You know, we know Bitcoin has not been able to move for quite some time. And of course, there's a lot of macro stuff going on, right? But who knows? Maybe SBF all along has been counter trading everyone and suppressing the price. And now, of course, bring more fear with the collapse of FTX. But who knows the damage this guy really did behind the scenes? Now you just have to question everything. Everything, right? Wow. Wow. We need some closure on this. we need some closure, because this contagion keeps spreading and spreading and spreading and spreading. We need a stop to this. We need the SBF to answer for what he has done. We need Gary to answer for what he has done. And us as a community, we need to stand together and continue forward, right? We need guys like SBF out of the picture. All right, guys, no Q&A tonight. I'm going to let you get back to it. I said I'm going to keep this stream short, but man, a lot of damning stuff. If you want to learn more, go follow Mario on Twitter. And also, I'm going to post this link in the description and comments so you guys can listen for yourself. All right? Have a good one, guys. Stay strong, my friends. I'll see you guys tomorrow, 11:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. Good night. And bye-bye.